Hi everyone, my name's Kirsty. I'm one of the organisers of this event, and I don't know if you're like me, but I love reading and I love hearing stories. I really like reading about stories about being kind to others and being proud of who you are, because we're all so very different and unique in our own way. There are lots of amazing books out there for reading, and unfortunately we can't talk about all of them today because it would be a super long video. So to make it a shorter video, we've selected 4 different books that I'd like to just tell you a little bit about. The first one of which is this book, which is called Julian is a Mermaid. So the person who wrote the book, the author, is someone called Jessica Love. Now, quite often when you have a book, someone writes the story and then somebody else helps to create the story further by drawing all the pictures, and they're known as being the illustrator. In this case, it actually was the same person. So Jessica both wrote the book and she also did all of her own pictures. The book's published by Walker and it follows a story of Julian. So Julian is a young boy and has been out with his nana and seen these 3 mesmerising women who are dressed up as mermaids, and he thinks that they look absolutely fabulous and he wants to be a mermaid too. But he's a little bit worried about what his nana might think. So it follows his story about becoming a mermaid, and it's all about accepting and being kind to others. There's not, this one, it's sort of aimed at children from age 4 upwards. There isn't a lot of text in this one. Actually, a lot of the storytelling in the book is made up through the pictures, and it really is so beautifully illustrated. The pictures in it are absolutely stunning. It's a really, really lovely book. So that's Julian is a Mermaid. The second book that I was wanting to talk to you about today is this one, which is called Dracula Spectacular, and I think you'll agree it looks pretty spectacular. So this book was written by, so the author was Lucy Rowland, and the illustrator, so the person who did the drawings, is someone called Ben Mantle. It's published by Macmillan's Children's Books, and this one follows the story of Dracula Boy. So Dracula Boy lives with his parents, the Draculas, and it's all very dark and creaky, and they like to be a bit spooky and scare people. Apart from Dracula Boy quite likes things nicely bright coloured, wants to make friends, so it isn't quite the same as his parents. And it follows his story through of finding new friends, finding himself, and being accepted by his parents. This one is actually quite a longer story. There's a lot more text than in this one. It's a more fulsome story, but still got lots of really beautiful pictures in it. And this one is aged for children 3 and up. So that's Dracula Spectacular. The next book I was hoping to talk to you about today is this book, which is called Has Two Mummies. So this one has been written by Leslie Newman, and the illustrator, so the person who's done the pictures, is Laura Cornell. This is published by Walker as well, and is for children aged 3 upwards. So this follows the story of Heather, as you might have gathered from the title, and Heather is a young girl who has 2 mummies. It talks about the wonderful things that she loves to do at home with her mummies, and then it follows her into her first day at school, where somebody asks her what her daddy does, and it sort of starts to make her think about what other people's families might look like. And the teacher, being very smart, asks all of the children to draw pictures to show their families, and all of them are so very different. And this story is all about thinking about not necessarily who makes up your family, but actually the fact that you all love each other. It's a really lovely book. Again, it's got quite a lot of text and lots of really bright, playful pictures. So another lovely story. So Heather Has Two Mummies. And then the last book that I want to talk to you about is not a storybook. This one's actually something a little bit different, and this one is called Poems Out Loud. So that means that it's about poetry rather than just being a story. So when I've been thinking about poetry, I didn't really do a lot of poetry when I was younger. I didn't really read a lot about it. I didn't try to write it. I didn't really know much about it. I just always read storybooks. And actually, I've over the last few years discovered that I actually really like poetry. But just the same as we don't always like the same stories, or we don't like the same music, it's the same thing. You don't always like the same type of poetry. So if you've never read any poetry, or if you have read some but you weren't sure about it, I definitely recommend reading some and reading more. And this book is perfect for that, because it's not just from one poet. So the people who've actually put the poems in, there are 29 in total. They're all by different poets, so they're all different styles, about different things. And again, the illustrations, the drawings are really lovely, but they're all very different because each of the poems is so different. And the person who did the illustration is Laurie Stanfield, and the book is published by Penguin. This one's also quite different in that it also comes with a CD, so you can actually listen to the poets reading them out to you as well, which is amazing. And these are all just they're from everything you can imagine, full of imagination. So from rockets to mermaids and everything in between. It's very diverse. It's very exciting, and it's great for children that perhaps haven't tried poetry before. It's recommended for children sort of age 4 and upwards, and it's just something a little bit different, but really, really exciting. So I do recommend that one, and that's Poems Out Loud. So I hope that has given you a feel for some different books. Maybe you've read them before, maybe you haven't, and I hope that is something that you might want to add into your reading list. And keep reading, keep enjoying, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.